Welcome to the deep dive. We help you quickly get to the heart of complex topics. Today, we're diving into Meituan, a Chinese tech company involved in everything from food delivery to bike sharing. You've provided us with some fascinating sources, company reports, financial analyses, and even Wikipedia. Our mission: figure out if Meituan stock deserves a place in your portfolio.
Okay, to help you decide, let's start with, I guess, painting a picture of Meituan's evolution. They started in 2010 as a Groupon-like platform, but quickly transformed into what's known as a super app. They offer over 200 services. Think food delivery, hotel and travel bookings, movie tickets, even grocery delivery and ride-hailing. It's essentially a one-stop shop for Chinese consumers' everyday needs.
And their reach is incredible, with 81 million monthly active users and a network of 5 million couriers, delivering an average of 60 million orders daily. That's a lot of meals and groceries on the move.
It really highlights their dominance in the Chinese on-demand delivery market. And it's that dominance that makes their financial performance so interesting.
Right, their financial reports show they've been profitable, but they've also been aggressively focused on expansion and gaining market share.
Exactly. That aggressive growth is reflected in their recent revenue surge, a 77% increase in just the second quarter of 2021. That's driven by their move into new service areas and their constant innovation.
But we also need to remember they operate in a fiercely competitive environment and face increasing regulatory scrutiny from the Chinese government.
That's a crucial point for any potential investor to consider. The Chinese tech landscape can be unpredictable.
So how does their innovation pipeline factor into all of this? Are they staying ahead of the curve?
Their financials highlight significant investments in artificial intelligence and autonomous technologies, like self-driving delivery vehicles and drones. And they're not just dipping their toes in the water. They recently acquired Lightyear, an AI startup, to accelerate their progress in these areas.
It's a clear signal they're betting big on a future where robots and algorithms play a key role in their operations.
They're also making strategic moves to reduce their reliance on external platforms, like WeChat, by building their own ecosystem for payments and user engagement.
So less dependence on the big players, more control over their own destiny.
Precisely.
It's a bold, long-term strategy that could pay off significantly if they pull it off.
Okay, we've talked about growth, innovation, but what about valuation? Is Meituan stock overpriced, undervalued, or somewhere in between?
Unfortunately, the sources you provided didn't include specific valuations, so we can't give you a concrete number to work with.
So no magic formula to rely on.
Right. But we can have a qualitative discussion. Valuing a fast-growing, diversifying company like Meituan is inherently complex.
We're essentially weighing their massive growth potential against the inherent risks of the Chinese tech market.
And those risks are real, from intense competition to potentially unpredictable government policies.
So for investors, this is a classic high-risk, high-reward scenario. Speaking of risk and reward, let's shift gears and talk about Meituan's recent acquisitions. The Lightyear acquisition is a good example. It wasn't just about acquiring technology. They're actively integrating Lightyear's AI expertise into their existing logistics platforms.
It reinforces their commitment to the future of autonomous delivery, and it shows they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. Now let's get to the heart of it. What are the key pros and cons of owning Meituan stock?
On the plus side, you have a company operating in a massive and rapidly growing market. They have a track record of innovation and an aggressive company culture focused on expansion. They're also early movers in key technologies like AI and autonomous delivery, which could give them a significant competitive advantage in the long run.
But on the flip side, what should potential investors be wary of?
Intense competition is a constant threat in the Chinese tech sector, and the regulatory landscape in China can be unpredictable, which adds a layer of uncertainty.
And for investors looking for steady income, Meituan currently offers no dividends.
That's correct. Their focus remains on reinvesting profits to fuel growth and innovation.
So no immediate payouts for shareholders. They're betting on long-term appreciation.
Exactly. And because of their complex business model, with so many different service lines, it can be challenging to accurately assess their true valuation.
So it's not a simple stock to analyze. There are a lot of moving parts to consider. And speaking of dividends, you've pointed out that Meituan has no current dividend policy.
That's right. However, they are actively buying back shares, having spent over HK $23 billion in the first half of 2024 alone.
Which suggests they believe their stock is currently undervalued.
Exactly. They're putting their money where their mouth is again.
Now let's talk about something that's becoming increasingly important for many investors: ESG factors: environmental, social, and governance.
This is where Meituan surprised me. Their corporate social responsibility report is quite comprehensive. They're tackling issues like green packaging, reducing food waste, supporting courier well-being, and even building playgrounds in rural China.
That's a lot more than I expected from a tech giant.
It is, but it's important to remember that these reports are just one piece of the puzzle. We always encourage investors to dig deeper and assess the real impact of these initiatives.
So ESG-conscious investors need to do their homework and not just rely on flashy reports.
Absolutely.
Now for our final point in part 1 of our deep dive: Meituan's expansion beyond mainland China.
This is a significant development. They launched their food delivery service, Kita, in Hong Kong and Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in 2023 and 2024. It's a bold move, going from a dominant player in one massive market to testing the waters on a global scale.
It raises the question: can Meituan replicate their success in very different cultural and regulatory environments?
Early results in Hong Kong were met with skepticism, but their Middle Eastern expansion has been backed by significant investment.
So they're clearly committed to making it work.
Yes, it's a story that's still unfolding, and one we'll continue to explore in part 2 of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive, where we're untangling the complexities of Meituan and helping you decide if it's the right stock for your portfolio. Last time, we explored their explosive growth, their bold moves into AI and autonomous delivery, and their expansion beyond China's borders. We left off discussing those first steps outside their massive home market, with the launch of their food delivery service, Kita, in Hong Kong and Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
And it's worth noting that those initial forays into new territories haven't been without their challenges.
Right. The early response in Hong Kong wasn't exactly overwhelming.
There was definitely skepticism from analysts. Some questioned whether Meituan's business model could translate effectively to a different environment.
But they seem determined to make it work, especially in the Middle East.
Absolutely. Their expansion into Saudi Arabia has been backed by significant investment. It suggests a long-term commitment to becoming a global player.
Makes you wonder what their end game is. Do they envision themselves on par with global giants like Uber or Amazon?
It's an ambitious goal, but they've certainly demonstrated an ability to adapt and innovate in the Chinese market. Now they're applying that expertise to new landscapes.
It'll be fascinating to see how this global chess match plays out.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears and delve into another important aspect of Meituan: their commitment to corporate social responsibility. You mentioned their CSR report earlier, and the wide range of initiatives it covers.
Yes, it goes beyond the typical superficial statements. We're talking about concrete actions in areas like environmental sustainability and social impact.
Their Lush Mountain project, for example, focuses on developing eco-friendly packaging for food delivery.
They've actually created over 41 types of green packaging products, totaling a staggering 2.91 million items.
That's impressive. But what about actual results? Are they making a tangible difference in their environmental footprint?
Their report highlights some encouraging figures. They've implemented large-scale garbage classification and meal box recycling programs in 15 cities across 14 provinces.
So they're not just paying lip service. They're taking concrete steps to reduce waste.
And they're going even further by actively promoting the no tableware option for users ordering food delivery.
So you can choose to skip the disposable chopsticks and plastic cutlery.
Exactly. And over 400 million users opted for that choice in 2023 alone.
That's a significant number. It indicates that Meituan's efforts to encourage sustainable practices are resonating with their user base.
It aligns with the growing awareness of environmental issues among consumers in China.
Now, beyond environmental sustainability, Meituan's CSR report also highlights their social impact, particularly in rural communities.
Their initiatives in rural revitalization are particularly noteworthy. They're leveraging their platform to empower local businesses and create new economic opportunities.
There's a great example in their report about a young entrepreneur named Liang Guangyu, who returned to his hometown to become a professional prawn farmer.
He saw the potential in his hometown's abundant freshwater aquaculture resources and partnered with Meituan's Shaxiang supermarket platform to sell his giant river prawns directly to consumers in major cities like Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Foshan.
So he's using Meituan's reach and logistics network to overcome the traditional challenges of selling agricultural products.
Exactly. And his success has not only boosted his own business, but it's also inspired other prawn farmers in the region.
It's a win-win scenario for both Meituan and the local community.
It speaks to Meituan's commitment to using technology to drive positive social change.
Another initiative that caught my eye is their Meituan Playgrounds for Rural Children project.
It's a fantastic program that aims to build multifunctional playgrounds in rural areas, providing children with safe and stimulating environments for play and development.
They've built over 67 playgrounds so far. But what makes this project so unique?
They've cleverly integrated the project into their platform, allowing users and merchants to directly contribute to the construction of these playgrounds.
So, for instance, you can donate a floorboard or other supporting facilities with every RMB 20 contribution.
Exactly. And there's a donation tracking system that lets you see the exact location of your contribution. It adds a layer of transparency and engagement that's quite compelling.
It's a brilliant example of leveraging their massive user base for social good.
And it underscores their understanding of the power of collective action.
Now, while Meituan's CSR initiatives are commendable, it's important to acknowledge that they also face criticisms and challenges.
That's true. There have been concerns raised about the working conditions of their couriers and the impact of their platform on small businesses.
These are complex and sensitive issues that require careful analysis and discussion.
We'll delve into those challenges and explore Meituan's responses in Part 3 of our deep dive.
Stay with us. Welcome back to the deep dive. As we wrap up our exploration of Meituan, let's address the elephant in the room, the criticisms and challenges they face. We've covered their impressive growth, their ambitious plans, and their commitment to social responsibility. But no company is perfect.
That's right. And one of the most pressing concerns revolves around the working conditions of their massive courier network.
With over 5 million couriers, navigating busy streets and demanding delivery schedules, it's a topic that sparked debates and even protests.
The sheer scale of their operation is unprecedented. It's raised questions about fair wages, labor rights, and the overall well-being of these essential workers.
These couriers are often seen as the unsung heroes of Meituan's success. They're the ones on the front lines, facing traffic, unpredictable weather, and the pressure to deliver millions of orders quickly.
And there have been reports of long working hours, intense pressure, and limited social protections for these individuals.
It's a complex issue with no easy solutions. But to their credit, Meituan has acknowledged these concerns and has taken steps to address them.
Their CSR report outlines various initiatives aimed at improving the courier experience. They're providing insurance coverage, accident prevention training, and even access to educational opportunities.
They've also established a dedicated hotline for couriers to voice their grievances, and they're experimenting with new technologies to enhance safety and efficiency.
For instance, they've introduced smart helmets with features like collision detection and voice reminders to help couriers navigate traffic safely.
These efforts demonstrate a willingness to tackle the challenges head-on. But it's an ongoing process that requires constant monitoring and improvement.
Absolutely. It's a situation that demands transparency, accountability, and a genuine commitment to the well-being of their workforce.
Now, beyond courier welfare, another area of concern is the impact of Meituan's platform on small businesses. Some argue that their dominance and aggressive pricing strategies create an uneven playing field, making it difficult for smaller restaurants and retailers to compete.
It's a valid concern. There's a tension between Meituan's relentless pursuit of growth and profitability and the sustainability of the businesses that rely on their platform.
It's a delicate balance that requires careful consideration.
And to their credit, Meituan has recognized this and has implemented programs to support smaller merchants.
They've launched initiatives like the Prosperity Plan, which offers digital marketing services, operational guidance, and even financial assistance to help small businesses thrive in the digital economy.
They've also made efforts to streamline their platform rules and processes to ensure fairness and transparency for all merchants.
These are positive steps. But the debate continues about the long-term impact of platforms like Meituan on the traditional retail landscape.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. It's a conversation that needs to continue as we navigate the evolving digital economy.
So as we reach the end of our deep dive into Meituan, the question remains, is it the right stock for your portfolio?
As always, the answer depends on your individual investment goals, your risk tolerance, and your assessment of the company's future prospects.
Meituan undeniably presents a compelling opportunity with its dominant market position, innovative technology, and ambitious growth strategy.
But potential investors must also carefully consider the risks. The regulatory uncertainties in China, the intense competition, and the ethical considerations surrounding their business practices.
It's a multifaceted decision that requires careful deliberation and due diligence. We hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights and information, trying to help you make an informed investment decision. And if you enjoyed this exploration of Meituan, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Project MPNGY, and tell us in the comments what other complex topics you'd like us to tackle. Until next time, happy investing.